Okay, so in this video I would like to talk about the different outputs of my plugin. So let's remove the Figma UI and let's talk about it. As you can see, we have a family tree here of, I guess, the royal house of Saxe-Coburg. And you can see that here it was processed. The way it works is I take the image and I hit the command layout from screenshot. And then I get an output. So there are some problems, right? You see how Franz Frederick, it actually recognized as one paragraph. So we would have to fix it. The same here, King of Portugal. And then there's some kind of divider. I guess these are actually two parts of the text. So we have to go in and fix it. And that would be a lot of work, right? To go manually in and fix it. So I don't think this is very ideal. The output, it's actually unusable. Ideally, it would even render the lines, right? So we have here that line. Ideally, it's rendered on this page. But it's not, because I'm only recognizing text at the moment and not shapes. Let's go to the next one. Next one, let's run it from scratch. So we have a label here. This is more or less perfect. We have an icon here, which was not recognized, but that's good. We have a text in all caps. It's more or less good. Let's just, for the sake of comparison, put one on the other, right? With 10% opacity. So we can see that we have the text. We have more or less this text, but not really well positioned. It should actually be here. Head, main, origin, main. We have the this text. So actually this text is wrongly positioned, but the text is kind of correct. What would be a cool feature is if like a photo would be recognized and then it would kind of put a square there or something like that. Okay, moving on. This is a rather easy one, right? It kind of does what it needs to. Let's say you need to use it for a layout. Like, this is a bit weird that this is not the same size. Like, it would be better if it was the same size. But okay. And also the enable, I find it a bit small. Like, ideally it would actually recognize the font size. But it's kind of close. It's kind of easy to like get to the same result. Like, I would draw a few boxes and I would kind of get to like the same layout easily. Let's tackle this one. This is weather app from iOS. So let's see. As you can see, the weather is always nice here. Anyway, the E, that's a weird one, right? The E. It's because it thought that this is an E for some reason. It's not, it's an icon. So it should not be there. This is also not cool because this is one paragraph or line and this is another line. So currently I have a paragraph-based algorithm and it's working well for paragraphs. So let's jump to a paragraph here. I used to actually have a line-based algorithm. So I can re-implement it and make sure that the line is used for some mockups and the paragraph is used for some. So in this case, this is nice for a paragraph, right? The whole paragraph is recognized. It's editable as a paragraph. And what used to be the case is that this would get recognized as two lines. Now it gets recognized as a paragraph. While I guess maybe if it's like center text, you could see it as a paragraph, but I actually want, like, as a designer, two lines. So I want it to be kind of like this. and then I can start editing. What else? So we have today 13 degrees and 24. So one thing I don't like, and I want to fix that bug, is that like this is wildly wrongly positioned, right? Like super wrong. I don't know what's going on that it's so wrong. So it should be fixed. That's a priority for me to make that better, because this is kind of bad, right? The text is too small. This text is too small. This one is too small. So you need a lot of manual fixing to get back to this layout, which is not nice. Like that's not the goal. The goal is to kind of have like this out of it. So I already fixed it up manually. So let's hit the plugin again and let's see what comes out of it. Okay. So you see how this is not cool. And this one is cooler. So that's what we need. Next one. We already discussed this one. This is an interesting example. This is about styles, right? So Microsoft has an API for styles, but it's not that good. It doesn't really give you much. But this is all Arial, right? It might be cool if I have like times here. If I recognize a serif text, maybe I should output a serif text. If I recognize Comic Sans, and notice that this is all wrong, right? This is recognized as a paragraph for some reason, but it's not. It's like two paragraphs, and one of them, it's 2 lines, and one of them is bold. So this is not ideal. Next one, a blog post. I think there's nothing to be said here, although this one could maybe be nice if it's like monospaced. If it kind of, let's see which monofont you have, Menlo. It would be nice if it would be rendered in a monospace font. This one, it would be nice if it was rendered in a bold font. So the output is not ideal. Maybe if we find some like contrasting box, we should render the contrasting box as like a box at 10% opacity or something. So we know that we kind of have this UI element here. What else? More like that. But then you get to color problems, right? Let's say this is also a contrasting box and you render it in black. Now you have to write code to render this text in white, for example. So that's quite difficult, I think. You could also write code to like render bullets in a better way. I don't know, like that doesn't look good to me, those little bullets. Maybe gray text could be gray. But then you go into this whole color space, and I think that gets complicated. And I don't like these little quirks of the plugin that it doesn't correctly find home blog about us contact as like 3 separate things. Like what is that about? Like, let's do it again. And why doesn't it understand that these are like 4 different things? I don't know. It's output from Microsoft, but I will hope that the model gets better. Then we go here. So let's run it again. So this is from npm. And if you do it, you will see like, okay, it's fairly good, right? You have a paragraph here. Okay, you have 3 bulleted lists. Okay, those are those 3. Then you have another paragraph. Then you have this one. And actually these are recognized as 2 paragraphs, but in reality they are 1 paragraph. So that's a mistake. This is a heading. Could be bold. And here it thought this little icon here, it thinks it's an A character. Like, why is that an A character? I guess because it kind of looks like an A in a way, if you are creatively thinking. I don't know, the machine thinks this and this, it's the same. And then the last example, we have handwriting. So you see how it finds, thank you for reading I don't know, Amish, too many more science insights together, Thomas McKinley from Amish. I don't know, soon Amish it says. I cannot read this, so the machine can also not read it, but let's try to do it again. Like it's wrong again. And I think if you give it like some input that is like separated, it's like better, right? So you take it as input and you run it again. No, actually not. Like I thought it would say collection or something, like it would recognize this. So the algorithm has a hard time with text that is like not in a straight line. And the 2 and the 3 are kind of correct. And I guess it recognized this little O here, but then it ignored this one. I guess that's fine. But I wonder why it only chose one O, because there's actually 2 O's, right? One on every side. Next, we have an example for numbers, but I think I'm gonna stop here. So this was kind of a OCR discussion and thinking about ideas for a better output.